Hello everyone. This is a tutorial about configuring continuous integration and continuous delivery with Bamboo on Microsoft Azure, presented by Group 1. We are going to deploy a Microsoft Azure function with setting up a Bamboo server on a virtual machine. These are the main topics we are going to discuss today. First of all, I'm going to introduce myself in the introduction. Then we are going to talk about what Bamboo is. Further, I'm going to recommend some important requirements on the recommendations. After the recommendations, we are installing Bamboo. After installing Bamboo, we are going to set up Bamboo by adding a repository executables, configuring a build plan, deploying on Azure function, and adding triggers on Bamboo. So this is what we are going to learn, and we are going now to the introduction. My name is Will. I am a member of Group 1. Group 1 is a team of 5 students that study at the University of The Hague. Our purpose is to learn more about cloud technology. There's a saying that says, if you want to learn something, then you need to teach it. So we want to learn and teach what we have learned and make a video about it so everyone can benefit from it. The operating system which we are going to install on Bamboo is CentOS 8, so the whole tutorial will be based on that operating system. I have finished the introduction, so now we are going to talk about what is Bamboo. What is Bamboo? Bamboo is a continuous integration server that can be used to automate the release management for a software application, thus creating a continuous delivery pipeline. In Team Project, you have numerous developers committing code to the source repository. How can you make sure that the code committed doesn't contain conflicts? That is where Bamboo steps in. With Bamboo, you can create a plan to choose unit and integration tests that trigger automatically when someone commits to the repository. This methodology ensures that the new changes are integrated well into the existing codebase, which allows for continuous integration. Developers can commit the code to the source repository, which triggers a build. The server automatically compiles and runs the unit and integration tests. The features of Bamboo are automated builds and test process to check the quality of the code. Deployments can be automated to a server such as Google Play and App Store. A way to manage builds that can have different targets or requirements. Triggered builds and integration tests allow for continual integration. So now we know what Bamboo is. The next topic we are going to cover the recommendations of Bamboo. So we are now at the recommendations. For the system recommendations, we recommend to have a CPU of quad-core 2 GHz, for the RAM 4 GB, for the storage 20 GB, for the operating system we are going to use Linux CentOS 8, but you can also use Windows, macOS or Solaris. And for the Bamboo license, there is a 30-day trial that you can receive if you register on the website. For the Linux recommendations, there's a whole list you need to install before you are going to set up Bamboo and before you're going to install Bamboo, because you don't want to have errors or some problems. And if you do this correctly, you can have a very smooth install and a very smooth integration of your Bamboo server. So you need to install Java Jdk. You need to set Java Home. You need to have a virtual server on Azure. And for the utilities, you need to Nugget package a .NET SDK 2.1, Mono, Azure CLE, GNOME Desktop GUI, and XRDP for the remote desktop program. And for you, it is very important to have a repository, a Bitbucket or GitHub, an Azure subscription. And it's very important to get a cup of coffee because this is going to be a long ride. So you need to take your time and read the manual before you are going to do all of this, because in this video we are only going to install Bamboo and setting it up. And for the Linux recommendations, you can read the manual in the description. So thank you very much, and we are now going to install Bamboo. So we are now going to download and install Bamboo. First of all, you are going to make a directory for the installation package of Bamboo with this line. As you can see, there's a new directory made. Now you need to go into the directory. So you are now in the directory. And with this line, you can actually download the installation package into the directory my bamboo installation. So now we are going to download it. Download is completed. We need now to unpack the tar file using this commando. Now the package is unpacked. Now we need to go back to the home directory using this command. We need to make a bamboo home directory because bamboo will be local on your server and everything will be done there. So we are going to make a bamboo directory. As you can see, this one is also made. And now we need to configure the bamboo unit properties. I'll comment the bamboo.home line and provide the path to the bamboo home directory. And we can use the command pwd to find out what your current path is. So let's first configure it with the nano command. So this is the nano command. And with this nano command we can configure the bamboo unit properties. So we are now in the bamboo unit properties. What we now need to do is to uncomment this one and put here the bamboo home directory. But because we want to show you how to find it, we are going to use the pwd command to find out the current path. So we do that first. Go first to the folder, to the directory, and then pwd, and then you see /home /mybamboo/bamboo. So I'm going to copy that and return to the unit properties. We can do it. So what we're now going to do, we're going to start the bamboo server. First, we need to locate our bamboo installation directory by typing in this command. And start bamboo. Bamboo is now started, and if you want to configure it, you need to go to the localhost 8085. Now we are at the bamboo setup wizard, and we need a trial license. So first copy the server ID, log in into your Atlas Asian account, go to new trial license and select bamboo. Paste here the server ID and generate license. Copy this one, paste it, and click on Express Installation. Setting this up can also take some time. because it's the first time. You are going to set up an administrator user. So you fill in your name, password, your name, and email address. Click on finish. Congratulations, you have downloaded and installed Bamboo. And what we are now going to do, adding a repository to Bamboo. So now we are going to link a repository to Bamboo. We click here and go to linked repositories. Click on add repository. In this tutorial we are going to add a GitHub repository, but feel free to use the other ones. So you go here, you give it a name, you give your username of your repository of GitHub, you fill in an access token, click on load repositories, and it's important to link out the right one. And if you want to test the connection, you can do that. Connection is successful, so now you have linked a repository. Click on save, and as you can see, the repository is created successfully. And now, after we have done this, we are going to add a executable, and that's this one. So now we are going to add the executables on Bamboo. Click here on the executables and add an executable as a server capability. As you can see, you have some options. That's the capability type. You leave it as it is. The type, you choose MS build because we need that one for building the application. And you type in a label. And for me, this is the path. Since Mono 5, the MS build is the same one as the ones that are be used within Microsoft. So click on add, and that's it. So the next thing we are going to do is build a plan. So now we are going to configure the Bamboo build plan. The Bamboo build plan consists of a project. In the project there is a build plan. In the plan there are many tasks that you can execute, for example, zipping the source code file or building it in MS Build, or even testing the code. So for example, if you push your code on GitHub, it automatically sends it to Bamboo. Bamboo builds the source code, it checks it, it tests it, it zips it, and then after the build plan there comes the deploy plan. So what the deploy plan is, it deploys it, let's say, to Microsoft Azure Function, because we are going to deploy and build Azure Function in this tutorial. So this is the concept of continuous integration and continuous delivery. And now we are going to first creating a project. We are creating a plan, and after that we are going to create a task. So now we are going to create a project, because it says it's a little empty here. So we are going to create it. Click on create project. You give it a project name. It automatically gives it project key, and the project description is not mandatory, so you can leave it open as it is. So I will give it function Azure sample as the name, I will save it. Now it's always good to have a plan. Within the plan you can have some tasks to let it perform for you. So create a plan. The plan name, what I'm going to give is a function app. The plan description, I will leave it open, and it's always important to link to the repository that you have linked before we have done that. So for me that is sample repo, and I click on configure plan. As you can see, you see this is the task section. You can here add tasks and do how it is. Now before we're going to do that, it says isolate build, run this job in an agent environment. You click on create, and you go back to configure plan. And now as you can see, you have created the default stage. So the states and the jobs, you can have a job, and in the jobs there are many tasks, and you can organize it how you like to organize. So let's see what we have. We have Bamboo made already the first one. That's the source code checkout, and it checks the default repository, as you can see. So you can leave that as it is. So now we are going to add some tasks in this job, in this plan. The first one, as you can see, it's a source code checkout. This one checkouts the default repository of your GitHub. The next one, we are going to add a script that restores the packaging using Nugget on Mono. So it restores the packages of your files, of your file of your Azure script. And then we are going to add the MS build. The MS build runs from Mono also, and it compiles it to the .NET project files. And after that, we're going to add a script that compresses the Visual Studio files into a zip file. And then our build plan will be finished. Before we are going to add tasks, it's important to add first an artifact. You click create artifact. You give it a name. For me, it was function1 artifact. And then you are going to do copy pattern and just type this in. Click on create, and your artifact is made. And then we are going to add some tasks. So let's start. We're going to add a task. Type in script in search, click on it, and you will get this. You give it a description. I will name it Nugget Restore. I will be using a bin or sh interpreter, and I will be using this command to restore my Visual Studio files. After that, I'll click on save. Now the task is created successfully. We are going now to add the MS build task. Type in here MS build, and as you can see, the executable what we have added before is here, and the task we are going to do, run MS build for Mono to compile .NET project files. I will give it this name, and for the solution, my solution name is .sln. The options, I suggest you to read the manual and copy paste it, because it's a long code, long line. And then click on save. Task created successfully. Now we are going to add another task, and that's another script that is for compressing a zip file. So compress the files into a zip, bin or command, inline, and let's check. We are going to use this command, zip r, and then you name your zip file. Don't forget space and then dot, because otherwise it will not zip everything, and it will say function.zip is not found. And then you are going to type in nv function.zip and you type in your path. So my path is home documents artifacts. So it's very important to make a new directory in the documents directory with the name artifacts. So if you are going to compress everything, it will put it here in the artifacts. And then if we are going to build the plan, it will be successfully. And now we are going to run this plan for the build. So run plan. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time. And if it's green, it says the plan is successful and there is a zip file made for deploying to Azure. So let's see. As you can see, it was successful, and now we have finished the build plan. We are going now to make a deploy plan, so we can deploy our Azure function to Microsoft Azure function in the cloud. So let's do it. So now we have reached the last step of configuration in the Bamboo server, and that's the deployment. If you want to come to this page, you click on deploy and all deployment projects, and then you click on create my first deployment project. You give it a name. I will name it minor cloud deployment. This description is not mandatory, so I leave it how it is. And then you need to click on your build plan and you leave it as it is. Click on create deployment project. Now you have created the project of the deployment. You need to add an environment. So you click on add. You give it a name. I will name it dev for development. Just leave it how it is. Click on create. After this, we can now start configuring the deployment plan. Click on set a task. As you can see, there are already two tasks in there. The one is the cleaning working directory task, and the other one is the artifact download. Click on the artifact download and click on the right artifact. For me, that's function one artifact. I click on save, and now we are going to add another task, and that's a script for deploying it to the Azure function. Give it this one. Give it a name. The name will be so. We are going to use these two commands. First one is AZ login. So you log into the Azure portal with your username and password, and your tenant code. Your tenant code, if you read the manual in the section Azure, you find the command to find your tenant code. After that, you use AZ web app deployment source config zip. With this one, says is it deploys to the right resource group, the right name from the right source. So here is my function zip file, and after that you click on save. Now you're finished, and now it's time to deploy our application. Click now on back to deployment project. You click on deploy. You click on your deploy plan, the environment, and start deployment. So now you wait till it's here green, and it can take some time. So I will see you after it's finished. As you can see, it's finished, and it took like 3 minutes. Now what we are now going to do, because we finished the deployment, it will be now on Microsoft Azure in the cloud, but we want to put some triggers on the build and on the deployment. So if we're gonna push new code from GitHub, it will automatically send to the build, and automatically the build triggers the deploy, and the deploy goes to Azure. So that makes a very good demonstration for the continuous integration and continuous delivery. Now we are going to build some triggers. It's very easy. You click on this button, Edit Environment, and then you click here on Triggers. After that, you see here the trigger. Click on Add Trigger, and you click on the After Successful Build Plan. You give it a name and click on Save Trigger, and that's it. I already have one, so for me it's good. Now we are going to make a build trigger for the build trigger. So what it does, it will search for new pushes from GitHub. So click on Configure Plan. Click here on Triggers. Click on Add Trigger, Repository Polling. So it's actively searching for new pushes. So you can actually set here how many seconds. I will set it on 10. I will give it a name, Triggy, and save trigger. And actually I already made one, so that's it. Now we have finished installing the triggers. Now we have a fully functional continuous integration and continuous delivery, and I will demonstrate it for you now. As you can see, this is the Minor Cloud Sample Azure website. So this is the function. As you can see, this is the code. This is the text, I mean. Here's the code. So I will change this to hello world. I will push it. So I'm gonna commit everything. I will sync it. And now I'm going to check out the deploy. If it's working already. Let's see if it's building. Yes, 3 seconds ago. So now it's going to deploy. And as you can see here in the logs, now it's going to take some time. So after this is finished, I will show you the website and the results. As you can see, it's deployed. Let's check the Azure website. As you can see now, you see Hello World, and this was the demonstration. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Till the next time.